We are very pleased to be talking with City Councilor Tom Sullivan right now. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here in the program. You're running for re-election to the Haverhill City Council, and tell us a little bit about your experience in the past during your tenure as a councilor right now, and what some of the initiatives are that you're involved in and where you think you'd like to go.
Okay, great. Well, this will be my third term if I am re-elected, and I hope I will be. I was appointed to the council by my colleagues back in 2013 when Sven and Marion stepped down to become president of the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce. And I ran for re-election 2 years ago, and I came in 6th place. Well, that was good, and I'm hoping I will come in a little bit higher this time. As far as initiatives, I think people who follow what goes on in the council knows that I'm a very active councilor. I'm involved in Winnie-Kinney, the Winnie-Kinney Park. I'm involved in the Forest Management Committee, which is...
How many acres is that park?
Over 700. Yeah, it's a great space. In
is.
fact, it's a Saturday morning as we do this interview, and I just left Winnie-Kinney Park, and there's no place to park in the park because so many people are out enjoying that park, whether they're walking, jogging, you know, whatever they're doing, mountain biking right now. Winnie-Kinney has come alive.
It's a great location. My daughter got married there.
Yeah, yes, she did, not too long ago, and we were together when you were planning that event. But that's not the only park that's important to Haverhill. Riverside Park is a great asset to the city of Haverhill. I was down there for the 375th Festival last weekend and never realized just how much land is back there and how much opportunity there is to do future concerts and such back there. It's great space. What I did notice when I was there is it needs lighting. There's not much lighting back in the park, so something I would do if I get reelected is I will advocate for improved lighting in Riverside Park. And then we have Swayze's. We just spent a few $1 million on the Swayze Park improvements, and I've been saying to the mayor, now that we've improved it, we need to maintain it, and that's going to cost money. So far, so good, but it's still the first year of the park. I hope 5 years from now, that park, say the Portland Street Playground Park, which Team Haverhill worked on with the administration, we need to make sure those parks look just as nice 5 years from now as they do today. And I'm going to be an advocate and a zealot to make sure that the money is spent on all our parks, because I think it's important that we have parks. We have 36 square miles here in Haverhill. Not everybody can say they have that much square footage or square mileage in their cities. We have beautiful space, outdoor space. So that's one of my focuses, but that's not the only one of my focuses. I'm very much concerned about future public safety needs, both on the police and the fire side. We obviously need more police officers. Everybody knows it. We can only hire so many at once. On the fire side, we obviously need a lot of new equipment, a lot of new vehicles, and we have to come up with a long-term plan to be able to do, to purchase these vehicles and other equipment that both sides will need.
When we talk about some of the things the initiatives that you happen to discuss and the maintenance of, let's say, the grounds or the buildings, and previous councilors have also said that when you happen to go ahead and redo a building or have a structure, it's say a city building, there's a responsibility that goes along with maintaining that building, because that's, in the past, it's always been sort of, well, we don't have the money, do we do this or do we do this? Well, let's kick the can down the road, and then we've all paid the price for that, having done that. Yes. And that's what you're trying to exactly avoid, because you can spend a little bit now or you can spend a lot later because you didn't spend a little bit now, right?
That's absolutely correct.
You know, when we talk about some of the things you had mentioned, you might want to touch upon the homeless issue in this region.
Yeah.
How it impacts Haverhill, and what remedies do you think are on the horizon, or what do you think we can do, or what do you think other communities can do too to help?
Well, as you may know, about a month or so ago, we discovered that there were 2 homeless people living in the bowels of the Herb Goki parking garage, which is the Merrimack Street parking garage. And basically, their being there, it was somebody stumbled upon the fact that they had been in there, and they probably had been in there for weeks, if not months. They created a real mess in these structures, and it was very sad to those who took a look at what somebody was actually living in. Complete with bathroom in a garage. It was sad. So I brought it to the attention of the mayor, and they had to bring in a team to clean up the site, a ServPro team, because they had to be hazmat certified in order to just clean up these 2 sites. And it speaks of an ongoing problem and an increasing problem of homelessness in this city. We have a Mayor's House. We have wonderful providers who at least try to provide a bed for people every night. But these two individuals obviously didn't want to choose that option because they could have gotten into that house, I'm sure, as well, and had decent shelter. The issue is, what do you do with and for people who don't want to be helped? They just want to live on the streets. Another problem area was next to the Water Street Fire Station. And shortly after those two individuals were removed from the parking garage, it appeared that the Water Street Fire Station was now seeing an influx of all-nighters hanging out in the little park next to the Water Street Fire Station, and the police would go there frequently to remove them from the park at all hours of the morning. I have asked the mayor twice to call a meeting of the providers in our area, Emmaus and anyone else who provides services, to find out what we can do for the homeless population during the daytime. Because apparently there's not much structure into their day. They are let out of the shelters, they're told don't come back until a certain time, and if they come back, I believe if they come back intoxicated, they're not allowed in. And that might explain why people live in garages and at the Water Street Park area, because they can't, they have alcohol problems or other mental issues. So I asked the mayor for a meeting, and I know he's been very busy, and I'm sure he's going to call for one. I'd like to bring in the players and ask the players, what is the long-term strategy for for addressing daytime homeless issues? And isn't there something we could be doing for these people, whether it's education or training for the ones who can be trained? Are they employable? You know, if they're suffering from mental health issues, if they're suffering from alcohol or drug abuse issues, which, by the way, is another huge problem in this city, which I hope we can effectively address in the next couple of years. It's long overdue. But we need to come up with some answers because we have a beautiful downtown. We're about to get a beautiful Harbor Place project coming, and we need to attract the different people to our downtown area, because right now our downtown is filled with homeless and really sad. It's just sad. We need to mix it up, and I know this project will accomplish that goal, but at the same time, we need to do something about those people to improve their lives.
One of the things I'd probably want to impart to you to help you in your endeavor in being able to try to straighten this out and give it some structure is the fact that let's just take into account the fact that Emmaus House or its subsidiaries have about 13 buildings or so in the confines of the city of Haverhill. And it's very interesting for you to know that previously, one time in an investigative survey that we had done with surrounding communities, where we would call the police department and say, what do you do with a profile of this type of person that does not happen to have any place to stay, that doesn't have any means of support, maybe somewhat distressed? Can you tell us, where do you have them go? And in virtually every case in contiguous communities, we bring them to Haverhill because they happen to have that sort of that service.
I've heard
the
that.
fact isn't whether they take it or whether they don't, but interesting for you to know, because it may be something that's not just a Haverhill issue, but it's a regional issue.
Oh, it's definitely a regional
other
issue.
people, that other communities need to go ahead and take part of.
Yeah, we're not
and
alone.
Participate in.
We're not alone with this issue.
So that being the case, now we've got just maybe less than 30 seconds left, but just to ask you, biggest initiative that you think is confronting the city of Haverhill down the road, positive or negative?
The school system, the condition of our school buildings. Now that Hunking is a go, and that's awesome, we need to address the remaining schools, particularly Tilton and Constantino. They both need solutions. They need complete renovations or remodeling or perhaps new buildings. And the mayor knows this, and we've spoken about this. Not just those two schools, all our schools. I think education is probably our greatest challenge in the future.
Excellent. Tom, I appreciate your being able to be here. You're running for a
Thanks.
re-election to Haverhill City Council. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much, Frank.
Thank you.